Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hare Haraye Hare Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Oh Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudha. Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Sudha. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Patita Pavana Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Patita Pavana Gaura Hare. Nitai Gaura Hariba, 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 Hariba. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Prabhupada Anuga Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Guranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 59 of Canto 4, Chapter 24. Sorry, 58. 58. Shloka 58 of Canto 4, Chapter 24. Atha naghanghrestava kirti tirtayor antarbahir snana viduta papmanam bhuteshva anukrosha susatva shilinam syat sangamo anugraha yeshanastava. Please repeat. Atha naghanghrestava kirti tirtayor Antarbahi snana viduta papmanam Bhuteshva anukrosha susatva shilanam Syat sangamo anugraha yeshanastava. Atha naghanghrestava kirti tirtayor Antarbahi snana viduta papamanam Bhuteshva anukrosha susatva shilinam Syat sangamo anugraha yeshanastava. Atha naghanghrestava kirti tirtayor Antarbahi snana viduta papmanam Bhuteshva anukrosha shushatva shilinam Syat sangamo anugraha yesanastava. Mataji. Atha, therefore, anagha angrihe, O my Lord, whose lotus feet destroy all inauspiciousness. Tava, your kirti, glorification. Tirtayaho, the holy Ganges water. Antaha, within. Bahi, and outside. Snana, taking bath. Vidhuta, washed. Papmamanam, contaminated state of mind. Bhuteshu, unto the ordinary living beings. Anukrosha, benediction or mercy. Susattva, completely in goodness. Shilanam, of those who possess such characteristics. Syat, let there be. Sangamaha, association. Anugraha, mercy. Eshaha, this. Naha, unto thus. Tava, your. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me by the association of your devotees, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet, and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees. Please repeat. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me by the association of your devotees, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet, and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees. Purport: the Ganges water is celebrated as being able to eradicate all kinds of sinful reactions. In other words, when a person takes his bath in the Ganges, he becomes freed from all life's contaminations. The Ganges water is celebrated in this way because it emanates from the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, those who are directly in touch with the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who are absorbed in the chanting of His glories are freed from all material contamination. Such unalloyed devotees are able to show mercy to the common conditioned soul. Srila Vrindavana Das Thakura has sung that the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are so powerful that each one of them can deliver a universe. In other words, it is the business of devotees to preach the glories of the Lord and deliver all conditioned souls to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Here the word Susattva means Shuddha Sattva, the transcendental stage beyond material goodness. By his exemplary prayers, Lord Shiva teaches us that our best course is to take shelter of Lord Vishnu and his Vaishnava devotees. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmayi Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Makhiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatana Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I want to take again the opportunity to welcome Her Grace Lakshmi Muni Mataji here amidst us. And we had a feast, a year full, heart full of Srila Prabhupada's Leela and pastimes yesterday. And we are very, very happy to be here with you, Mataji. Thank you very much for your presence. Hare Krishna. So, I think today's shloka has got a lot to do with some contributions from you. I've been asked to speak about this shloka. I'm just reading it now. To do with association. I'll read the translation once more. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things and the destroyer of all contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me by the association of your devotees who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet and who are merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees. And Lord Shiva is speaking this, I presume, right? Mm-hmm. Lord Shiva is speaking this. I didn't read the chapter. Yeah. So, it's addressed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's very interesting that Lord Shiva was in the Bhagavatam similarly addressed by Markandeya Rishi, who earlier was Lord Shiva's devotee. And Lord Shiva saved him from dying, saved him from the hands of Yamaraj. And he later actually is seeing Markandeya Rishi having progressed so much and become a devotee of Krishna. So he and Parvati are descending to give him some blessing. But Lord Shiva is telling Parvati, what do they need? They don't need anything from us. Swarga pavarga narkeshu api tulyartha darshinaha. He earlier told his wife also this. But still they said that do something, some seva for him. And when Shiva accosted Markandeya Rishi, of course entered his trance and meditation and got his attention. And he came and respected Lord Shiva and Parvati. And then he said, what I can do for you? And Lord Shiva said, no, I am so happy to see you like this. I want to do something for you. Ask from me a boon. So, but earlier the same Shiva had said in terms of Chitraketu that these people don't need anything. Swarga pavarga narkeshu api tulyartha darshana. Don't care for any boon, material. But now when he asked Markandeya Rishi replied, you can give lot of boons and satisfy everybody. Varamekam vrinayathapi purnat kama vivarshanat. Purnat kama vivarshanat. You can fully satisfy everybody's desires. But I want to ask you also. You offered, I want to ask you. Because you are able to satisfy all the desires. And he said, just like you are a devotee of Achyuta, I should also be a devotee and I should also get such association for doing so. Tat pareshu tatatvayi, like you, I should also be a devotee and seek such association. Again, Lord Shiva is telling Parvati in another instance that Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam param. After all types of worship, worshipping Vishnu is the topmost. But even greater than that, Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam is to worship those people associated with Vishnu. those things associated with Vishnu, which normally means devotees. It's even greater than worshipping Vishnu. Because why? They bring Vishnu to you. They bring Krishna to you. They are the conduit through how you can get association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's illustrated very nicely in the shloka by comparison with the Ganges. Ganges, Padanaka Neera Janita Jana Pavana. From the lotus feet of the Lord emanates Ganges. And because of that, it's like Charanamritam. It is Charanamritam, not like this Charanamritam. And if anybody gets association of the Ganges, they become fully purified. Similarly, devotees of the Lord who are in connection with Krishna, having freed themselves from the material realm and having devotion for Krishna, if you connect yourself with them, that is the best way to connect yourself to Krishna. Therefore, they form a very important link. Most important link. In other words, you can say Bhakti is outsourced to them, and through them you can get devotion. Right? So, association of a devotee is spoken of very highly. Not simply because, sometimes we have a very, very simple definition and a very mechanical understanding of association. I like to associate with you, Prabhu. Like, I want some association with you. Rub shoulders with you, be with you, do some seva for you, do things like that. I had association. Association is of the heart. Association is about bhakti. Association is about a person-to-person interaction. And normally we are not person-to-person interacting so much. We may be interacting emotionally and sometimes thinking it to be person-to-person. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki. But you can have association of various types. Prabhupada spoke about Bandhu, Mitra, Suhrit. And he explained how Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyattvamam Shantim Richati. That I can become your best of friends. Why? Because I can actually revive your Krishna consciousness. So that person is a real friend who can actually revive your reality. He can put you in touch with Krishna. He can make you fall in love with Krishna. That is the real meaning of association. When a person does something towards that for you, depending on which platform you are in, and he facilitates it in some way or the other for you, that is genuine association. That is genuine association. Sometimes he may give it to you by chastising you. Sometimes he may lead you, because you don't know anything about anything, he may lead you to take some little prasadam, which is welcome all the time. Sometimes he may give you a little knowledge, which is what you need at that moment. Sometimes he'll give you a little emotional help because you need it at that time. But somehow it leads you to taking Krishna consciousness seriously and promotes you in Krishna consciousness. That is really association. It is definitely on a very high spiritual plane. It's definitely on the region of the heart. It's about expressing our love. Everybody has the capacity and the potency to love Krishna. And when that is awakened, then that person who helps you to do that is really helping you with association. There are many who can associate with you very closely, emotionally, and have a interaction and a quid pro quo. You give me this, you give me that. And sometimes we become very close friends with them because we have a stake, a material stake. And it's not about wealth, about position, power. It's about an emotional deep stake. Right? And you may become very close. We spoke yesterday about how even such close people can spoil it with money. Yesterday we were discussing that. Why it gets spoiled with money is because it is material. Although it sounds very intimate and deep, and he's my friend here, he's like this, under any circumstances I will die for him and all that. It can get screwed up completely by any material arrangement. But this association, which you're speaking about, that never dies. That never dies. Because it's very genuine. And the person concerned is very interested in you, irrespective of what you are materially. And why? Because you're connected to Krishna. And because I'm in love with Krishna, I love you. I don't care what you do to me materially. You can kick me on the face, but I'm going to serve you. I'm going to give it to you. This is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. From what we heard yesterday also. Irrespective of your material situation, whatever you may do, what you may think, I am determined to give you Krishna. These are the great personalities. And their association would find its way inside you, although you may not want it. Powerful association. So we are being told repeatedly in the Bhagavatam that such type of people, such type of great devotees, I want their association, because such type of arrangements will be made only by the Lord. That you will get so and so's association, such a great personality's association. Definitely. Because the devotee becomes a vehicle for that. And so Prabhupada, like we heard yesterday so beautifully, wonderfully, he decided to do certain things in certain ways. And he's definitely motivated and inspired to do so by Krishna. And those things are like going out of the way and encouraging people to perform some devotional service, because their Krishna consciousness will be awakened. And it happens so. Actually happens so. So those devotees who experience that will repeatedly feel I want to be in this association. I want to do anything for this association. I want to perpetuate it. I want to sustain it. I want to have it all the time. And they can have it. It's not going to fade away. The more you feed into it, the more you sustain it, the more you grow it, the more it grows. That's the amazing thing about this association. So, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's association can be had by anybody at any point of time. Nobody stops it. Nobody can stop it. This is the type of association we are talking about. And Markandeya Rishi is asking that of Lord Shiva. And you will see throughout the Bhagavatam these statements made. And that is the type of association that is glorified even by the gopis. Bhurida Jana. Gopis are talking about Tava Katha Amritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shavana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvigrinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Bhurida Jana. Such people are so wonderful, so great, that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is getting excited about that. He embraced Prataprudra when he chanted the shloka. Prataprudra was not even getting association. He was thinking that I'm not getting the audience of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya, when he chanted this, he immediately said, Burida, and he embraced Prataprudra. So wonderful to hear about devotees who give out Krishna genuinely with good understanding and feeling for doing good to human society, for doing good to somebody. Such people are greatly benevolent, magnanimous. And indeed, even the gopis are speaking about them. So, here the prayer of Lord Shiva is, if you can please keep me with such devotees. I want to always have the association of such devotees, is the prayer of Lord Shiva. Because if I am in the association of such devotees who never forget your lotus feet, I will always remain in connection with you. And I will always be safe. And I will always revel in Krishna consciousness. Right? So, Srila Prabhupada gave association. And to those who appreciated, there was a devotee who went to Prabhupada, and I mentioned this many times, who was very surprised about the effect the association of Prabhupada has had on him, Krishna consciousness has had on him, and how he has changed so much. And he went and he was wondering at his own change. He went and asked Prabhupada, how is this possible? It happened to me. I was just a bum. And Prabhupada looked at him and told him, I brought good fortune for you. He just told him on the face, it's me. It's because of me you changed. I mean, without telling it so bluntly. He said, I bought good fortune for you. Right? People change. And this is the greatest moment, not just in your life. It's the greatest moment in your entire existence in this world. It's not an ordinary moment. When Prabhupada is saying, I bought good fortune for you. Henceforth, you won't remain here. You've started your journey back. And that's a great event. It should be celebrated. Not about celebrating birthdays and celebrating anniversaries and this and that. This is the real event you should celebrate. The day when you turned round and decided to go back. Because of the association of a pure devotee. He changed my life. He just made me think about it in a completely different way. Nobody did it till now. Nobody did it. All the great parents that I had for millions of janmas, they didn't do it. Nobody else did it. This person did it. He changed the course of my life. So that moment is a great cherished moment. That happens through association. Sangha. That happens through association. Somehow or the other, Krishna engineers it through some devotee. And you change your life. Fortune really bangs on your door when you actually are ready to associate with the devotee. So, Prabhupada told us a lot about this, and there's a lot about it mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Quite often people ask us how to get good association or how to avoid bad association. And what is the signs of association? Prabhupada said he created the International Society for Krishna Consciousness for giving association to human society. That's why we heard yesterday in the purport that be careful in maintaining yourself as a devotee so that you can give this association to others. You should not think in your mind that, oh, it's Prabhupada who is giving association to everybody. I can continue to be what I am. And it's Prabhupada, pure devotee. Sometimes people think that you don't have a responsibility. With that attitude, you don't have a responsibility. No. You have a responsibility to give association to others. And because you have to do that, you have to be prepared. You have to keep yourself pure. You have to follow these regulations and simple sadhana that Prabhupada has mentioned, so that we can contribute to the movement of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and give this message and everything to others in a pure format. They become influenced. They become influenced. You can at least say, sometimes people are realistically humble and they feel that, no, I'm not qualified, not this. But nobody is unqualified to present Krishna consciousness, present Prabhupada, and present a pure devotee to others. That much you can do. That much you can do. In this way, we'll actually become an instrument, a link in giving people association. Right? So our business is to be pure, follow all those regulations and principles that Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has advocated for us, and become instruments of association, at least for everybody, because that's what the movement is meant for. That's what the movement is meant for. Make it easy for people to get association. That's your duty. That's the minimum you could do. You can always do more. The more you do, the better. The purer you are, the easier it is to affect people. Purity is the force. So it's not that we should not take the responsibility. We should be very responsible in keeping ourselves pure and becoming instruments of association for the people in the world outside. It is our duty. Here Lord Shiva is saying, by your arrangement, it's possible for me to remain in the association of such devotees. This is our prayer. In order to be fit to give association, we should also have association. Basically, there are three types of association that you should have. One is peer association. Another is senior association. The other one is association of people who need your association, so that you can practice giving that association which you got from somebody else. So it's a whole dynamic. You get association, you give association. In this way, you will always be on the treadmill of association. So these three are important. Now when we take association from a senior devotee, an experienced devotee, like Parikshit Maharaj took the association of Shukadeva Goswami. By age he was definitely elder to Shukadeva Goswami. But everybody desired the association of Shukadeva Goswami. He heard. Similarly, we hear from a person who is experienced, who is advanced in Krishna consciousness, more senior, elder. We hear from them. When we hear from them with respect. We give respect to them. And we pose our questions. We learn. And we are very grateful. When we give association, we are actually looked upon as somebody who is a repository of a lot of things. And we are giving it, doling out association, giving them pastimes of Krishna, teaching them how to do the sadhana, solving a practical difficulty that they may be in, and in this way helping them to advance. Then we are in a position where we are senior and we are helping a junior to do that. And then there is peer association with people of the same type like you, the same level like you. In that place, we are more relaxed. We are neither in the giving mode, neither are we in the taking mode. We are in the discussing mode about what you took and what you gave. And freely, you're not judged. So that's very much needed, very enlivening and very much needed, refreshing. You can express your doubts very frankly. You're not judged, and bouncing off things, settle things in your mind also. In this way you have peer association. Normally, if we don't balance these things together nicely, in good proportion, your association development may be a little lopsided. We generally tend to want to give association all the time because it's a very nice position where nobody finds fault with you and you are happy about pointing out faults with somebody else and feeling very nice about the fact that, I'm faultless by default because I'm finding fault with you. I'm capable of doing that. Therefore, that feeling, somewhere deep inside, subtly it creeps inside. And it gives you a good feeling that everybody is in awe of you. And it's so nice. You feel respected. In this world, nobody respected me before, but once I became a devotee, so many people respect me, yaar. It's so nice. If I go outside and be what I was before, no idiot looks at me. But now I got a tilak and a kantimala and I got this uniform. Immediately people do this to me. And whatever I say, they listen to me. Wow. It's just, I won't get this position anywhere in this world. Even in the best of jobs in the MNCs, I don't get this type of position. But in the Krishna consciousness movement, people, namaskar, bow down to you. It's very attractive. That's why that should be balanced with somebody knocking you on the head constantly. You need to take association with somebody who says, no, not good enough. You did this wrong. This is not this is not that. And he corrects you and this thing you. That's required constantly. So it balances up. When you go and give association to people, you will feel humbled at least. You'll feel a little humble at least. That's why a good balance between all these things are required. Association management should be there in your life. Otherwise, by default, you will tend to be only a preacher. That's why once upon a time, I remember in the Bhakti Vriksha, I remember saying this. Everybody is eager to be a Bhakti Vriksha leader. He said, yeah. Everybody raised their hand. Yeah. Why? Because it's so smooth going. Bhakti Vriksha leader, everybody listens to you. And now they'll call him, he's my Siksha Guru also. And he's everything for me. And in this way, you feel so great walking around. I mean, I never felt so good. Why is that I feel like a king? Because everybody talks all these things about me. And this is the beginning of your fall. Because you are not that. You are not that. This is why I'm saying balancing association is very important. Once in a while you get to get knocked down on your head. Even great personalities, they sometimes overdo certain things. Lord Shiva, let's take the topic of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva gave boons and he's famous for that to all his, many of his followers, fallen bhutas, pretas, rakshasas, pisachas, all of them. So he gave boon to them. Very merciful. And he did that to, Vrikasura. And he is a demon. So Vrikasura wanted to try out the boon that on whosoever head you put your hand, they'll become bhasma, they'll become ashes. So he got this boon from Lord Shiva, and then you know the story. He said, I want to try it out on you. And this is an asura. And Lord Shiva started running in distress. Running, and Vrikasura was chasing him. No, first person I want to try it out is on you. I want to kill you. I want to make you bhasma. So it seems that the news went around that Lord Shiva has got himself into trouble, and Narayana heard about it, Krishna heard about it, and he came in the guise of a brahmachari. He came as a brahmachari, and he stopped Vrikasura, and he engaged him in a very interesting conversation. But he said, relax, why are you wasting time running around like this? Whatever you want to achieve in life, you got to think about it a little bit and all. What's your problem? Tell me. So, who's this guy suddenly coming in between? But Krishna has a way of talking. He's super soul in everybody's heart. So he caught Vrikasura's attention. And Vrikasura was panting, Shiva, gave me this boon, I want to try it on this and that. He said, Shiva, don't believe him. I know that guy, don't believe him. He gives so many boons and doesn't work properly. Just try it out yourself, and then he burnt himself. Krishna was so convincing that the foolish Vrikasura put his hand on his own head and reduced himself to ashes. Because Lord Shiva's boon works, for sure. And this fool did not know that. And immediately after that, he met with Lord Shiva, the brahmachari avatar. And he said, why don't you cool it a little bit? Relax. Don't overdo it. Be careful how you give out and be very merciful and on the people whom you have. So we need balance. We need to balance. Sometimes if you overdo your preaching, you actually burn out preaching. You burn out while you're preaching. Why? You're not caring about yourself. You're not fueling yourself. You're not sharpening the saw. You're not getting association yourself. It's not about preaching, screeching all the time. It's also about your own self. So you know that I need association actually. I very much need to be with somebody and talk about some other things and get to know certain things, speak about Krishna. You will know you'll need it. A sadhaka needs that. So we need to balance at that time. So association management, very important for all of us to do. Sometimes people go off in one direction and they get lost. Neither is it good to always be giving association only. As much as, giving association, neither is it always good to be taking association only. I always want to be with senior devotees. Lord Shiva is mentioned here. I always want to be only with senior devotees. I don't want to preach. I don't want even friends. I want to be only with seniors because this is the best way to be safe. Best way to be safe. That also is not very good because over a period of time you start becoming envious of that person whom you are with. Material nature operates. You start becoming, wow, I've been around for a long time serving you here. The nature of the mind to mundanize and materialize everything. Therefore, even Prabhupada sent his servants away. He's becoming too familiar. Few months and then would send them away and come back again. Why? Becoming familiar. You become familiar, then you commit offense, then you become envious, and then you do something even worse. Because it started with you always saying that I want to have associate. There were the two devotees of Prabhupada, I forget their name, who were rich enough to every time get a ticket and fly with Prabhupada wherever he was going. And his two servants were also coming, and they would buy which ticket, which flight, everything I find out, and where is he going? They'll also land down there with Prabhupada along in the reception and everything. And so I think, I forget their names, a temple president, I think, looked at these two people and said, what a nice time they're having here. Traveling with Prabhupada, always having his association. So the temple president, was struggling like nothing. managing the temple, managing the devotees, managing the finance. He said, Prabhupada, I also want to travel with you. Like this. Something like that. Then Prabhupada made a comment, an amazing comment. It stuck in my head for long. He said, those two are enjoying their guru. You are serving my order. He made a massive, solid comment. These two people are enjoying the guru. That's it. They both dropped off after that. So you don't know what you're doing. You may think you're doing association. You may be enjoying selfishly. Right? So association also means carrying out the order of the person whom you associate with, whom is senior to you. That is fruitful association. You gave me some knowledge, you gave me some instruction. Now I like to do something according to what you said. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshanaha. That you do something practical for that person who gave you facility. This is important. It's not that I'm very smart in my association, I just take association. I don't do anything. I just avoid that. Very smart. You won't. Over a period of time, this is what will happen to you. So Prabhupada said they were enjoyers of the Guru, which I don't think anybody had heard that term at that time. For the first time. Wow, we can even sit down and enjoy the Guru. But others were following the order of the Guru, struggling to do things. That you're going to get association, genuinely. And you'll value it when you get it also, because you become purified. So association means many things. Association does not mean just having fun time alone. That's also there. You see, whenever I see Prabhupada's picture, sitting with his legs up like this and he's putting a hand on his head and laughing like this, he's really enjoying life. He's happy in the worst situations that we'll all be crying in. He's traveling the world, he's got health problems, he's got organizational problems and everything. But Prabhupada is always happy. Wherever he goes, you can see him preaching Krishna consciousness, bringing Krishna to people. I instantly feel energized when I simply see Prabhupada like that. Yesterday, 2 days back, I was making some presentation on the 24 Gurus topic. And I came across this picture of Prabhupada with his hand like this. And smiling like this. To hell with those guys. It just speaks 1,000 words positively. Powerful association. That even by seeing his picture, you become so energized. You read his words, you become energized. You hear his voice, you become energized. Prabhupada is such a powerful personality. A devotee in all terms of the word. So we need to actually understand that association means also the same smiling Prabhupada. He gave heavy services to all of them. You do this, you do that. Massive things he asked them to do. And they did it. The amazing thing is, I have faith in you, Prabhupada, and if you say so, I'm going to endeavor and it will happen. By Krishna's mercy. And it happened. That's some of the stories we were hearing yesterday. I was reflecting. What a powerful association. I carry out. It may seem impossible for me, but I try my best to carry out what you say, and it becomes possible. This makes you feel very good when you think, well, wow, that was something. I never expected I would be able to be an instrument in this. This has happened because Prabhupada told me and I tried, it happened. So you get great faith in that association. You get great faith in that association. So in this way we can see association works practically. The Krishna consciousness movement is spreading by association. One of the most important aspects is the association of devotees which make people do things for Krishna, which make devotees try out many things, take risk for the Krishna consciousness movement, distribute the books, publish them, build temples and make inroads in all sorts of places. This happens because of the power of association. A person's association makes you feel very positive when you do that. So many stories of that, of Prabhupada's association and people doing amazing things. So many amazing things. So our movement is based on association. And we should garner that association. We should inspire people to spread the movement in this way through association. And this is our duty. This is our duty. And we constantly remain praying to Krishna that I should remain in the association of devotees, just like Lord Shiva is praying. Such a very great exalted Mahajana. He is also afraid and praying that I should remain in the association of devotees. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted that although there are devotees, you may be able to take association. You should also know how to take association of devotees. You can remain with devotees and remain with an awful mood and not take their association. All sorts of things can happen to you. All sorts of things can happen to you. And you can do the worst things in the association of devotees. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. That's why we need to also constantly pray. Keep me in the association of devotees. Give me the intelligence to take advantage of the association of devotees. It's not that it's your choice that I am able to exercise my choice. I took the association and therefore I got this. I did it. No. You also need to pray to Krishna that you may remain in the association of devotees and you may remain with good intelligence on how to utilize the association of devotees. You know that famous shloka, and how the monkey and crocodile were very good friends. When it actually came to losing his heart, the monkey decided to exercise his intelligence. This is too much what you're asking for. What you're asking for is a little too much. So he ran away. He tricked the crocodile and ran away because he decided, can't give you my heart. So sometimes our Krishna consciousness gets endangered in association. You must know how to preserve it. You must know how to preserve it. You must have the intelligence. That intelligence comes if you're chanting Hare Krishna, following the sadhana, and Krishna is super soul in their heart. We'll give you that intelligence. We'll give you that intelligence. Like you see, Bharat Maharaj took the association of their deer without fear. He was thinking, already he was in the bhava stage. His tears were coming from his eyes. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. But afterwards, he became a little fearless about taking the association of a deer. He lost it. He lost it. He was singing a poetry on the deer. From where to where? He sang a poetry, watching the footprints of the deer. It's Kavita. He wrote a poem on it. Oh, beautiful deer. The earth has been sanctified by your footprints. This is all mentioned in the Bhagavatam. What happened to you, Bharat? Because of the association of the deer. How subtle and insidious Maya is. You can creep into Bharat Maharaja's life, into his devotional life, and make him fall in love with a stupid deer. He was in love with Krishna. Look at what association can do to you. Wrong association, what it can do to you. It can insidiously creep inside you. Sita, when she saw Ramachandra always carrying the bow with him in the forest. Even when he was walking with her, he was carrying the bow in the forest. I think I told you this story many times. And she told him once, she's always carrying this bow with you and with a quiver and this, not looking very good, And so he just smiled. My wife, she is like that. So she told him, I'll tell you a story, what I mean. Because I think you're not taking it seriously, what I'm saying. She told him a story. And he said, yeah, I'll hear. She told him a story from the Puranas that there was a very devout Brahmana. Very good Brahmana. And he came to the forest to perform austerities and increase his Brahma Tejas. So he performed a Ghora Tapasya, performed austerities, and he was becoming more and more powerful. Indra became disturbed. Anybody does anything, he always gets disturbed. In his domain, in my zone, why are you starting a center and preaching? This is my zone. So he got disturbed. And he said, I got to nip him in the bud. Before he grows, let us cut him off. Let's spread some bad rumor about him. Something like that. So he came down to the Brahmana. The Brahmana was, wow, Indra coming to my ashram. He gave him blessing and said, I just came, I heard about you and your tapasya and the Brahman. And Indra, he gave him a gift. Gave him a gift of a sword to the Brahmana in the forest. Gave him a gift of a sword, keep it. And he took it, anything from Indra is great for me. He took the sword and kept it. Indra disappeared. Very cunning and very smart Indra was. He gave a sword to a Brahmana in the forest. And that Brahmana was doing his regular rituals and kept on looking at the sword in the corner of his little mud hut. And one fine day he said, from Indra, yaar? What are you doing? It's from Indra. And he took it up. And then he held it and said, wow. And then he slashed a little bit here, there, a tree, a small this thing, that. Felt very good. And then he went on slashing. And he went on slashing like nothing every day. This was his hobby. And gradually became violent. He went on slashing everything, slashing animals, and he became a monster, forgot all his tapasya, this thing, everything. He became a monster. Quietly, Indra destroyed his whole tapasya, everything, by giving him a sword. That thing was standing there. What does a sword do? You should use a sword for cutting. She told Ramachandra this. Don't keep on carrying your bow and arrow like this. What will happen to you? So he smiled, of course. Ramachandra smiled and said, I'll take due care. But association of even a sword. Similarly, association of your mobile phone. This is the sword given by Indra. Not Indra, your father, mother, your person who wants to really kill you in Krishna consciousness. He will give you on your birthday the present of a mobile phone. It's like Indra giving you a sword. Many of these gadgets are like that. So association does not mean only association. In the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada explains, giving up bad association means radio, TV, newspaper, unnecessary this, that, everything. Also, for people in Kali Yuga, these things become very relevant. Association does not mean only human being or a deer or something like that. Association also means all these things. So these are some of the things that we can reflect on, just spontaneously speaking to you, on association. And in Kali Yuga it means a lot of things. It's not as simplistic as in those days. We didn't have phones and all that. We had only people around. And you just have to bother about good association. Tyaja durjana samsargam bhajasadu samagamam. Like Chanakya Pandit said, give up the association of bad people, take the association of sadhus. This is only criterion you have to worry about. But now you have to explain about mobile phones, about swords, about bad, good, the 3 levels of association, this, that, everything in Kali Yuga. So all these things affect you very much. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gur Premanande. What's the time? Oh, yeah, I'll bring my watch. Any comment or question? Mataji, you like to definitely add a lot of snippets into this from Prabhupada's pastimes. I should have stopped earlier. Is that the same mic? The mic that has had bad association. It functions like a little on the angular. Yeah.
I was just thinking that the best association often comes from just watching someone be a good devotee. And we may be very good at book distribution, we may so many things. But if our character isn't observably wonderful, when we saw Prabhupada, we didn't hear much. I know when I first saw Prabhupada, I couldn't understand a word he said. I had never been to India, I didn't know anything. He had a heavy Bengali accent, and I hardly could understand anything. But I could see this saintly person. I could see the way he behaved. I could see the way he inspired others to behave towards him. And that made me think, who is this person? I want to meet this person. I want to know what makes this person so outstanding. And in a similar way, or on the other side of the coin, we may be, big book distributor, we may be so many things, but if people see that we have not good character, like we were talking yesterday, that, then you do something that tells the world that my outside is different than my inside, then immediately people lose faith. Their faith becomes broken. Their aspiration to be like you becomes broken. That was Prabhupada's greatest thing when he first came. He had nothing. He had no money. He had very few books. The books were in broken English, not beautiful like the beautiful books that you're making. But his character, that person, was so effulgent, so powerful, that just by seeing him, you thought, I want to be like him when I grow up. And the other thing on the other side is that if I don't protect myself from the worship that I receive, that worship is poison. Right? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Vidurya Kadambini, he says that from bhakti itself comes this worship, and this worship is poison. And so you really have to balance it with association of people who will say, just chill out, because I experience it myself, and it's ridiculous. I have no qualification whatsoever. And when you were talking about enjoying your spiritual master, I've told some of my mentors exactly this, that's what I feel like. I have no qualification except that I can hold I'm a Prabhupada disciple badge, And it's poison if you drink it. If you accept it and you think that you become like that just because you have no qualification whatsoever, then you're finished. Your spiritual life is finished.
Beginning of the end. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody's got any comment or a question? Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, and thank you, Mataji, for a nice class. So I have a question from yesterday night and today's class. So yesterday night, Mataji, you were mentioning that when a devotee was asking after Prabhupada what happened to the movement, and you mentioned that even you can take it, associate with the devotees, and even he is not 100% pure, he is purer than you. So you can take their association. But today you are saying that when you are looking at and the character is not right, it is the faith is broken. So when we are associating with the devotees, is that we have to overcome and think that they are purer than me, so let me avoid all the nonsense and just check the association? Or else by looking at the character, if we go lose the faith, and how to know that which person I have to associate with?
This question is for Mataji. She's asking you.
It's a difficult question to answer, but I'll start by saying that at the beginning of your association, we look for the good qualities in people. We should be looking for the good qualities in people. And someone may not be perfect, but they're not proud, they're not envious, they're trying to give the message of their spiritual preceptor. That person is worthy of some respect. The problem is we don't really mean the respect that we give. You know, so many people bow down, give this and that, but really the respect comes that I see that you're making every effort to do the right thing. And that's why I respect you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're trying to carry out the mission of your Guru Maharaj. You're trying to purify yourself. And therefore I respect you. And if that respect is genuine, then if I see some flaw, it doesn't break my faith necessarily. But if someone is relishing that flaw, someone is making a business out of it, or, you know, advertising themselves in a way that, then you have to just shift your faith to somebody else. And you can answer better than that, because I struggle with that.
That was good enough. I just want to comment. I think she's trying to say that if she sees something wrong in the character of a person, should we still go ahead and take his association because he's doing those aspects? The flaw there in the question is that normally speaking, if somebody is a devotee and following devotional practices properly, then normally his character will not be wrong. That's the effect of devotional service. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvergana. That's famous shloka. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratena sati dhavato bahi. The Prabhupada said this repeatedly about his disciples from all over the world, because you get pitted and compared with the Hinduism and the moral and ethical fiber of this thing and the culture of this thing and all that. Devotional service is the fact that somebody is engaged in devotional service itself is a big thing. Prabhupada made that clear, you know, that, where is that famous, I don't know the details of it, but I think the devotees came and they were taking darshan in a temple, but there's an Andhra and the pujari who came to give them all chatari and everything, he made a comment or something saying that, yeah, keep praying, in your next life you'll become a Brahmana and then there is this thing for you. Something like that. And then they came and told to Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada told another story, wonderful story. He laughed at that comment. And then he told a wonderful story about a lady, it's the Bengal real life happening, who went to the magistrate and the magistrate did some favor for her and all that, and she blessed the magistrate, being a rustic village woman. Blessed the magistrate, saying, you must get a promotion in next life, you become a policeman. Magistrate is already so big guy, but in her knowledge and understanding, policeman is the biggest. And she said, you will very soon become a policeman. So that guy just laughed. So similarly, Prabhupada said, you're already engaged in devotional service. And if Krishna has not allowed you to do it, how will you do it? And by mercy of the Lord, you're engaged in service, the topmost, highest occupation. What to speak of becoming a Brahmana? It's more than being a Brahmana, isn't it? So similarly, if a person is engaged in a devotional service of the Lord, Prabhupada's argument was, I remember this he mentioned this also, saying that, some of these things may be here and there wrong with them, culturally, this thing, that thing, but they're all devotees. They're rendering service to Krishna. And that is the important thing. So, sometimes you may see that some small things are not followed here and there or something. I mean, in India, you can get a little sticky about all that. But that's not the main thing. It's not the main thing. You have the mic?
One thing is that there's two perspectives, right? There's the perspective of the other person who's looking at you and seeing that you're engaged in devotional service. But if you think, I'm engaged in devotional service, so therefore I have no problems, I have no fault. Devotees are always humble. Prabhupada was so humble. He always gave all credit to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. I may have mentioned to you, somebody asked me to do some research on the possible flood in Mayapur, to see if Prabhupada had said anything. And I found one incident where they were walking on Bhaktisiddhanta Road, and the Ganga was up to the road on the other side. And one devotee said to Prabhupada, we were saved by Bhaktisiddhanta's road, by the road, Bhaktisiddhanta Road. He said, that's right, we're always saved by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And there's a wonderful, wonderful story narrated by my god sister. She did some research to talk to people who knew Prabhupada before he came to America. And there was one story where Prabhupada was going regularly to Shantipur. And he was sitting in the back of the Shantipur temple, and once in a while he would come there and he would pray. And this pujari there, he saw this older man coming every day and just chanting. Then later, a few months later, the same Prabhu was there. He wasn't chanting, but he was crying. And so this sadhu decided, I'm going to talk to this person. He comes regularly, but I've never spoken to him. He said to him, you're sitting crying. I've seen you chanting here so many times. Is something wrong? He said, no, I'm just about to leave to follow the order of my spiritual master to go to the West. And I'm praying to Advaitacharya because he brought down Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his tears and his sincere prayer. And I'm praying that I get that mercy from Advaitacharya. And I can do something wonderful there. Several years later, some Western devotees came to the Shantipur temple, dressed in sari, in dhoti. And they gave this person a Back to Godhead magazine. And on the Back to Godhead magazine, he saw a picture of that person who was sitting in the back of the temple room crying. And then he went to Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, and he spoke there and said, you don't know who your Guru Maharaj is. That he was praying so much for the mercy of the acharyas to be able to just go across and bring you here. And now look what's happened. So many Western devotees here, dressed as devotees. It's all because of his mercy, and don't ever forget it. So Prabhupada never forgot it. And therefore, even if there was any flaw that someone might find in his presentation of Krishna consciousness, and believe it or not, his people found flaw, but because he was so humble, he had all good qualities, and any error he made was immediately ignored by Krishna and by all his disciples. So that humility on the part of every devotee is essential. Otherwise, if you get intoxicated by worship, then you die from that poison.
Sure. Worship is dangerous. One must only worship Krishna and the pure devotee. Yes. Okay.
So now there is a spoiling factor is a familiarity. So what are the factors or the tips you can give us so that that factor of familiarity doesn't come and spoil the
there'll have to be another seminar.
A short one or two.
Anyway, the thing is, our roles in ISKCON get embroiled with many different aspects. We become organizationally oriented. We become related to each other as friends, and we become workers together in a temple, in a project, in a Bhakti Vriksha, in many things. So many other factors are there in practical life. It's not like what we say just like that and write on the board or something. There are many things behind holding together. So when you speak about familiarity, we must always be cautious of our mind's capacity, like I mentioned, to mundanize everything, including spiritual life, bhakti, chanting, deity worship, everything. That's why the Shastra warns, saying that Arche Vishnu Shiladir Gurush Naramatir Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. In that shloka, it is easy for you to think that the Archa Vigraha is a Shila, is a statue. Gurushu Naramatir, to consider the Guru to be an ordinary person. To look at a Vaishnava in terms of Jati and Buddhi. Oh, he is an American Vaishnava. He is a, Reddy Garu from so-and-so place Vaishnava. He is a, Gounder Vaishnava. He is a Naidu Vaishnava, like that. The mind operates like that only. Actually operates like that. So you may be manufacturing your own problem with familiarity. In the factory of your mind. You have to be careful to always make a distinction between absolute truth, reality, and everything associated with that. That's a different category completely. And you're given an opportunity to associate on that level. Association means from the relative level you're associating with the absolute. It's not just another material to material association. It's from the relative level to the absolute. That's what association is about. That's why it's important. So what the mind does is to mundanize that absolute into something material. And then familiarity starts. Problem. So keep it distinctly separate. That's why culture of respect is important. Keep a distance. Prabhupada spoke about Maryada Langana. He said that deity, watch from a distance. Your guru, don't go too near. Because your mind will familiarize and make it difficult for you. So this is a disease that we have in the material world. So take precautions for that. Protect your own spiritual life and make sure that you're not familiar. Don't become familiar. You have to use your intelligence. Quite often. That's why I said association management should be done. It's not only money that needs to be managed. I hope that helps. Yes, and it's pretty late. We all need to go and gobble up all the prasadam that's waiting. Otherwise it'll all become cold. Okay? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gaura Premanande.